There is a moment in the Gospel of John, chapter 9, that I want you to see. Jesus and his disciples are walking, and they pass a man who has been blind from birth. And the disciples ask Jesus a question. It is the same question people have been asking for thousands of years. They say, "Teacher, whose sin caused him to be born blind? Was it his own or his parents' sin? In other words, who is being punished here? What did someone do to deserve this?" His blindness has nothing to do with his sins or his parents' sins. John chapter 9, verse 3. But if not punishment, then what? To answer that, we need to go to the oldest story of suffering in the Bible, the book of Job. Job is introduced to us with remarkable care. The very first verse tells us exactly who he is, a man who worshiped God and was faithful to him. He was a good man, careful not to do anything evil. And in a single day, Job loses his children, his wealth, and eventually, his health. His three closest friends come to comfort him. But after 7 days of silence, they begin to speak. And for 30 chapters, they insist, gently at first, then more forcefully, that Job must have done something wrong, that this level of suffering could only be the result of some hidden sin. They mean well, but they are wrong. God said so from the beginning. But here is the part I want you to hold. God never gives Job an explanation. Job never learns why. He never receives a theological answer to the question he has been asking. He asks. He cries. He demands an audience with God. And when God finally speaks, out of the storm, in one of the most extraordinary passages in all of Scripture, God does not answer the question. Instead, God asks his own questions. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Can you bind the stars? Do you know the way to the dwelling of light? Not dismissal. Awe. An invitation into the vastness of a God who holds everything together, including this. And Job, who has spent 40 chapters asking why, changes. He says, "At the end, before I had only heard about you. Now I have seen you." The suffering did not stop immediately. The answer never came. But Job encountered something more than an answer. He encountered God.